I did more music about the Earth, and you did more music about space and different events in the space.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we might have a few questions about that. And thanks so much for joining us.
No, thank you very much for inviting me. I'm glad to be a part of this.
Oh man.
Toms, where are you right now?
Right now, I'm in Salacgrīva. For those who don't know, it's up north in the in Latvia, and it's a great place for astronomy because there's not a lot of city lights. Therefore, it's quite dark, and you can take images of quite faint objects. And that's what I'm doing right now.
Can you show us how you work?
I would be glad to do that, but it's it's totally dark. I can ask my friend to give me a light. Great.
It's very difficult what you're doing.
So, going on outside, the camera, I cannot rotate it, but yes, here's my telescope. Oh, and it's actually raining.
Is your telescope gonna be fine?
It's actually really good that I went outside because otherwise my telescope would be full of water.
Right.
Okay, this is a bit unplanned, but you know, astronomy, there is nothing that is certain. Therefore, it's all a part of the process.
It's like jazz music.
Exactly.
Are you taking pictures of anything specific, like a specific part of the cosmos right now, or
Yes. Right now, well, I was taking photos of the Elephant's Trunk Nebula. Well, for context, the image that you have on your album cover, it's the Great Orion Nebula. In short, it's one of the most photographed objects in the night sky because it's the closest star-forming region, as it's only 1,300 light years away, and it's actually visible to the naked eye. And I think it's a great choice for your album cover, as the nebula shown in the album cover is a stellar nursery. The I find you to be like a musical nursery, creating new rhymes and new musical pieces, and with lots of room to grow. So in that context, I am shooting the Elephant's Trunk Nebula, which is also a star-forming region, but it's a bit further away, and it's mostly composed of interstellar gas and dust floating around space and creating new stars.
Very cool. Listen, Toms, I want to ask you, because one of the bits on the album is called "Arrival on Mars."
Yes.
And I have no idea if that's possible at all. Did you dig into that? Is that actually a thing? Because people keep talking about it, and is that in the near future? Are we actually going there? I mean, I know they sent unmanned missions there, but is it a thing?
For context, you mentioned the latest unmanned mission was Mars 2020, in which they launched the Perseverance and Insight, which, in my opinion, is a greater technical marvel, as it is so hard to engineer everything to be so perfect and still work under the harsh conditions of space, and especially during like launch, because when a rocket is launching, there's a lot of vibrations and sounds, and everything can just tear apart, and it has sensitive equipment on board. Therefore, it needs to be like properly engineered. as well as the insight brought us insight, as a matter of fact, on how a drone would fly on Mars, which is technically it's the first flight humans achieved on another planet. And in context, when humans will be on Mars, Elon Musk himself thinks that the best estimate for that would be 2024, which is about 3 years away. So it's like, it's not even the near future, it's tomorrow.
Right.
Mm.
And do you think it's possible, like personally?
Personally, I think it's, well, without a doubt, it's totally possible, as we have accomplished things that are much, much, much more difficult. So bringing humans to Mars is just means adding more mass to something that we've already done, and we can just do it better.
All right, but there's something about the landing process, right? Because there's a
Yes.
time delay and you can't control anything, right? You have to engineer it from here.
Yes. Well, that is the thing about unmanned spacecraft, is the further you go away from Earth, the more delay it will have for control. For example, if you wanted to land a rover on the moon, for example, then it would have a 1 second delay. You would go forward by 10 meters. It will go 10 meters forward only after 1 second, because the information has only 1 second to reach it. So it has to be smart, meaning it has an onboard guiding algorithm, which is basically a pilot, but pre-programmed.
God
If that
damn.
makes any sense.
Yeah, of course it does. But that problem is eliminated if there's astronauts on board, right? Because then they can.
In that case, yes, but I think it would be mostly it'll be just like in commercial air flight. I think it will be 50-50. Like a pilot would be there to check out if everything is okay and going well, but there's always a robot that will be checking everything all the time and making sure that everything's going well.
Right. Okay.
Mm. Yeah, incredible. I heard you're actually going for a competition these days.
Yes.
Yes. When is that happening? You're representing Latvia, by the way, which is pretty amazing.
Yes, there's a competition for astronomy and astrophysics. It's an international competition, and this is the first year when Latvia can participate, because previously Latvia couldn't participate, but now it's been added as a guest. So that's also how I feel on this show. I've been just added as a guest, and I'm extremely happy to be here.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to have you here, and thank you for joining. So when are you going for the competition?
The competition is on, I think it was around the 14th of November. And here in Latvia, we have this COVID crisis again, when we have to stay indoors, and that will end at the same time when the Olympiad will start. So it's kind of it's perfectly timed, so I could say.
Yeah. Well, good luck with that. I mean, it's a big deal, I guess. First year.
Thank you very much. Also, listen to your album, and about Arrival on Mars. I first thought that the album could be just a great background track to study, but I found after I tried it, I found it quite hard to study, as I was just I was just taken away by the rhythm and the melody, and I was just vibing along and not doing my work totally.
That's a nice compliment. Great.
Yeah.
Thanks, man. What is your own music taste? What do you listen to when you don't, of course, listen to our album over and over again?
Well, lately I've been enjoying jazz rap. It's mostly it's just a combination between hip hop and jazz that is meant to like represent the roots of hip hop and how it started, and just mixing it in with jazz elements and simply something to put in the background. But when jazz and blues is done good, it's not something to put in the background.
Right.
That's my opinion.
That's a nice quote. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. By the way, a question: how hard it is to take photos of space? I mean, probably you have to have like a really good telescope and a camera, right? I mean, that would be a start, I would imagine.
Well, my imaging telescope I bought when I was in 7th grade, so it's quite a long time ago. But I'm still surprised how I managed to pick such a beautiful telescope. It's actually very it's not very expensive for what it is, but the hardest part comes to actually gathering all the light, because during the night, if your telescope is positioned at your imaging target, because the Earth is rotating, it will slowly drift away. So you need to have a system that compensates for that, and that system usually costs quite much. It's like 4 times as expensive as my setup when I first bought it. So I decided to go the DIY route and spent 2 to 3 years putting together and seeing what works and what doesn't, and just simply experimenting with components and putting everything together. And finally, only recently, it just started working, because they're just like in spacecraft, everything has to go perfect. If there is one simple thing that goes wrong, the whole image is ruined, and there's like no point in trying at all. So it's quite a process. And moreover, about getting actual exposures for a good image, you need to gather a lot of light, which means taking long exposures, of course, tracking the object across the night sky, and taking a lot of these exposures. And once they are taken, you add some calibration data, which is basically finding out how your camera impacts the light that is coming into your telescope, and like taking away the noise, and also stacking the exposures together, which means like if you were to take 30 10-second exposures and stack them together, it would effectively be 300 seconds. Well, there is it's not like 1-to-1, but it's effectively the same thing. So what we as astronomers do is gather a lot of data, a lot of light throughout multiple nights, and compress all of that data into one single image, which is quite a process. But when it's all done and dusted, it's simply wondrous.
Man,
Beautiful.
Really nice.
How does it work? Is it a hobby for you to take pictures of it, or this is a basis for you as well to further study phenomena found in cosmos and universe?
Well, at first I thought it was more of a hobby, and I was actually going for astronomy to study. But I found out sooner or later that there are no bachelor programs available for astronomy. Therefore, I chose to go with physics, which is basically a major study with which you can sprout out into several other regions. For example, if you later on in life decide that astronomy is not your thing and something else is quite your taste, then you can make the change because physics is very broad. And that's why I'm studying physics right now.
All right. Toms, I just want to ask you, because we were asked earlier tonight if we could choose to play a concert anywhere in space, where would we go? And we didn't really know where. But if you were to choose a place to go in space, just to check it out, and let's say that everything is habitable, like you can live anywhere you wanted to, where do you think the most interesting this place would be in space?
That is a very interesting question, but if we were shooting for something that is something that is a bit more realistic, I would say in between the gaps of the Saturn's rings, which is quite a beautiful place, as you could see the Saturn in its entirety, and also its beautiful rings. And you would be just in the small gap that is created just because of orbital resonance, which is also in music. As I'm not not as a professional in music, but I know there is something with resonance also in music, and therefore it's these two worlds joining together to create this beautiful place and having a concert. I don't know. That's just a vibe.
Yeah.
That's a good answer.
That's super nice.
All right.
Well,
cool.
Thank you so much for joining us. It definitely was a pleasure to have somebody who's actually like on a daily basis related to the cosmos, since it was like our theme for this CD. So thank you so much for beautiful insight, and good luck in the competition.
Thank you.
Good luck
See
taking
you,
pictures.
hope to see you in Latvia someday.
I hope to see you as well.
Yeah, man. Have a good night.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Ciao.
You too.
Bye.
Thank you, Paldies. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, that was great.
Yeah. Awesome, dude.
Yeah. Should definitely invite Toms for the next concert in Latvia whenever that's going to be happening. Hopefully next summer.
That would be so cool.
Yeah, that's likely, but let's see.
Cool.